I'm going to show you guys today just one of the best strategies in order to craft Giga armors. It's kind of like a really good introduction to two mechanics that I think are incredibly valuable for crafting. Number one being the Recombinator, and number two being Eldritch Currency. As I am going to show you, this took me like 10 minutes to craft. It's super simple to do, it's super quick to do, and literally anyone can do it. I learned how to do it in like 5 minutes. You will be able to learn how to do it over the course of this video. I guarantee that to you. Once you kind of break it down into like small bite-sized pieces, you'll find out that it's actually quite simple. Essentially, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at this chart here. What does this column even mean to begin with? This just means the number of either prefixes or suffixes, okay? Not both, but either. Not and, but or. So this means one prefix, two prefix, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you're probably thinking, how can you get 6 prefixes? Well, it's if you recombine an item that has 3 prefixes on one and then 3 on the other, it's 6. That would be a 3 by 3. But in this case, we only really care about 2 numbers. The first one is this 2 number. What does this mean? This is, in our specific case, is going to be a 1 by 1. So when we recombine one prefix with another prefix, what it essentially says is if you're recombining one prefix with another, there's a 67% chance that you only keep one mod, which essentially means that one of your bases gets destroyed and the other one survives. The other thing is that you can get a 33% chance of hitting 2 mod. So what does that mean? That just means 2 mods survive on the recombine. And since there's only 2 mods that we're recombining, that means both of our mods survive and we are very happy. So what we're gonna do here is essentially alt spam these Necrotic armors, for example. I just chose Necrotic because this is the most, kind of the most meta armor right now. And I would say that these probably sell the fastest and are the most profitable to do. So Discord, TFT, we bought 28 eye level 86 Necrotic armors for around 2.5 div. What we're gonna do now is we are going to alt spam. When you look at the odds of hitting tier 1 of any of the 3 prefixes that we want, it is 1 in 76 alterations, not including augments. Divide this number by 3 because we're having 3 different mods that we care about. It means that we're gonna hit one on average 1 in every 25 alterations. It's gonna be so quick. I already have 15 armors here lined up for us, and I'm gonna show you how quickly it actually takes to spam them all right now. Use a Regex. When we roll it on our armors, it'll light up for us. So let me give you an example here. There we go. So we have tier 1 hybrid ES. Now it's lit up. We don't have to like slowly click and take a look to see if we hit the right mod anymore. Now we can just spam, and if we hit it, it'll light up. It's just as easy as that. Now I highly recommend that when you do these, you do them multiple at a time, so there's a lower likelihood of rolling over one of your armors. But this method greatly helps reduce the number of rollovers, like right there, that you're gonna have. Set up like 5 or 6, and then do some sort of like snaking pattern. That way you give yourself some time to kind of recognize, oh, okay, these lit up. But like as you can see, I don't really look at the stats at all. I get to just click, 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 click until I'm an idiot, until the body armor lights up. And then once it lights up, you know to stop clicking on it because you hit what you hit what you wanted. Okay, I see, like I've rolled over 4 already. So in a minute and a half, I've already rolled like 19 armors pretty much. I rolled over a few of them because I'm a moron, but yeah, there we go. So in a minute 40, I completed the 15 and I rolled over like 5, right? It's so quick to do. And then once you have this done, all we need to do here is just recombinate them. Boom, that's all we have to do. One recommendation I have for you is you generally want to add a suffix in, a shitter suffix, because like as you saw before, it was 90K. Now it is 50K. It reduces the dust cost significantly if you have shitter suffixes. I generally recommend doing this. Okay, we missed. Like I said, it's a 1 in 3. We don't really care though. Let's just get everything out. Again, it was 130 to recombine. Now it's 78. We save a fuck ton of dust by doing this. It's just generally a good... Oh, we're out of dust. So I think this is actually like a good point as well for like, how do you actually get the dust to do this? I'll link this spreadsheet as well into the description, but it's just kind of like it lists all of the tier 0 dust uniques, and then you can kind of just go through and look at the low cost chaos ones and then check to see if they're still low cost. Now, I would generally say you want to be paying like 1.2 div for one of these items, and they will give you a fuck ton of dust. The most important thing is you have to make sure you quality them before you put them in. I can show you this right now, but it increases the dust value that you get pretty significantly. So here, 1.9. If you don't quality at all, it's like 1.6, 1.8. With quality, it's like 2.2. This cost me 1 div to buy. Okay, while we're waiting for the dust to disenchant, I figured why don't we just do a few more bases. I don't know what the exact math is, but the back of the envelope map that I did yesterday was like 20 to 25 bases on average in order to complete the whole item. I know that sounds kind of like a lot, but the reality of the situation is 20 bases takes you like 3 minutes to do, and it costs you like 4 div. So we did around like what, 25, 30 bases there. Took us like 3 minutes to ult them all, and then another like 3 minutes to like recombine all the bases. It's really fast. And now we have 7 bases that are 2 prefixes. Going back to this chart here, like I said, we need to know 2 numbers. The first one is this 2 number, which is the 1x1 crafting. The next number we need to know is this 4 number. Now we're going to try and create some 3 mod bases right here. And the best way to do that is by doing 2x2s. So we just did 1x1, which is 1 prefix by 1 prefix. Now we're going to do 2 prefixes by 2 prefixes to get 3 mods. So the way it works is, although there's 4 total prefixes, one of them is going to overlap. So out of the armors that we can recombine, there's only 3 prefixes in the pool. That's flat percentage and hybrid percentage, right? But the one overlap is okay. It still counts as a prefix. And essentially what's going to happen here is there's an 11% chance we essentially brick both bases, 59% chance that we just brick 1 base, and there's a 31% chance that we get 3 mod. This case would be the tier 1 prefixes, aka perfect prefixes done. And we just kind of do the same thing as before. Check here. This is just flat, percentage hybrid, flat, just normal percentage. This one will work, and we just need to get 1 and 3, but we have more than enough bases to hit that on rate, as you can see. So yeah. And boom. Our first one we hit. And this right here is not done, but the prefixes are done. As you can see, we have tier 1 flat evasion, tier 1 percentage evasion, tier 1 hybrid percentage evasion. This is the best prefixes we can get on this so far. And it's just as simple as that. It took me like 5 minutes to get one of these, okay? So what do we do now? We use something called Eldritch Currency. So what Eldritch Currency does is it essentially makes it so that we can just chaos, we can just annul, and we can just exalt only suffix stats. Okay, how do we do this? So the way it works is we can use these icores or embers. If we use the blue one, it means Eater of Worlds is dominant, which means these orbs, these Eldritch orbs now will only affect suffixes. Orb of Annulment, it won't do anything because there are no suffixes. Right here, we can now, at this stage of the game, we can only affect suffixes with these currencies. If you're a PoE 2 player like I was, you realize this shit is fucking broken. But what do we want to do now? So there's 2 stats that we really want for the suffixes that we can get through these orbs. Number 1 is intelligence. Int is just incredibly meta right now in stacking, and then also spell suppression. These are the 2 stats you really want on the body armor. You don't want chaos res specifically because there's a lot of CI build users who will use the necrotic, but you could also be happy with a tier 1 res. You don't want double res on these this late into the league. Earlier in the league, this would probably be acceptable, but you really need one of either int or spell suppression. I would say spell suppression, you could settle on tier 2. Int, I would say you can settle on tier 2 as well, but you really need to have one of these and then plus another, either the other one for Giga or just another res for a good healthy amount. What I recommend that you do is you type in a regex into the crafting bench. So this regex here will essentially make it so you only see cold res tier 1 and remove crafted mods, okay? Why is this good? It's because we are going to use this cold res to block resistances, the highest weighted pool out here, and like they're good, but they're not necessary. We want to hunt for the necessary ones first, and we want to increase the likelihood to hit the necessary ones. By blocking one of these resistances, we reduce the mod weight in the pool, and we make it essentially higher likelihood to hit these. It's also okay to block something like faster shield recharge rate, but I think actually blocking resistances is better. What we do here is block res, exalt, exalt, didn't hit, that's okay. We reset. Chaos orb to reset. We hit int, it's a little bit low. You can reset again. We hit dex, that one's actually not good, but it's not the worst thing ever. Block cold, exalt orb, reset. We hit tier 3 spell suppression. Now this could actually be a settle here. Like maybe tier 3 max roll spell suppression is good enough. This late in the league, I don't think it is. So we're gonna skip this for now. We roll, hit fire res, exalt orb, hit load int, that's okay. It's kind of a numbers game here. You hit int again, that's kind of a bummer. I would actually recommend that if you hit int or spell suppression, we just reset the armor with an annulment. because the odds of us hitting something is kind of reduced pretty significantly here now. And yeah, we keep fishing for something good. We hit Dex, boo, fire res, boo, reset, and whoa, that's pretty good. We hit tier 2 hint, tier 1 cold, tier 2 fire. That is perfectly acceptable for an armor, and we are pretty much done there. Realistically, what's going to happen is you are going to hit tier 1 int or tier 2 int, spell suppression, whatever, and then you're going to need to exalt, annul for the last stat, and then once you have 2 suffixes, you just benchcraft on like increase attributes if you have high int, or you add a like another resistance if you hit spell suppression. For these crafts, you don't need to, but it sells faster if you 6-link them. And the best way, to my knowledge, to 6-link is to use an Omen of the Jeweler. These are incredibly cheap. These only cost like 19C each. It's way cheaper than actually trying to 6-socket with a Jeweler Orb, and it just saves you a lot of time. You 6-socket, you come to Menagerie, and then you Black Morrigan, 6-link. So you see here, Black Morrigan, create 6 Sand Spitter. This costs a little bit over a div to do. We 6-link this real quick. Don't laugh at my 0 DPS build, man. Like, I'm a hideout warrior. I'm fucking weak. Yeah, these guys are like uber bosses for me. I know. I've heard it all before. It's all true. But like, you know, just because it's true, do we need to say it? Anyways, we 6-link our armor here. Like, this armor is pretty nice. Although all of the prefixes are min rolled, so we might want to div this one up like once. Yep, there you go. We dived it once. We gave it 200 more EV. Very, very worth it. If it helps it sell a little bit faster, I think it is 100% worth it to do. And let's just take a look at how much this thing is worth now. If we go on trade, we go on int, add int. That's a little bit too high. We don't want to sell for that much. Yeah. So you look and you see, okay, this is 50 div. Ours is pretty significantly worse than this. It's not quality. It's 1 tier lower on the most important stat. We should be around 10 div lower in terms of price. And then what is the absolute lowest we'll go? Maybe like 30 div. So our range is now 30 to 40 div. You can either just try and get it out quick, put it at 35, 30, try and move it out quick in order to buy more bases or whatever if you're kind of illiquid, like you don't have a lot of your money in currency and rather all of your money is in items. But I generally, if I have a lot of currency, which I have a good amount of liquidity right now, I've got 200 div liquidity, so I don't feel like I need to sell it immediately. So I'll just put it at the top end of my range, and then, you know, every hour I'll move it down like 2-3 div until I get to the bottom of my range, which is like 30 div, and I know, okay, I'm going to hold it here for at least a day before I consider going below that. But yeah, that is start to finish how you craft one of these Giga Necrotic armors. Obviously, there's ways where you can get even better. Like this one is just turbo insane. I reset my client, but I've had like a bunch of offers on this already for 150 div. But you know, I'm not streaming, so I can't sell this yet for the challenge. But I can go into how you craft these ones later. But these are pretty straightforward too. These ones are, I think, more in line with just like a beginner craft that I think a lot of people are interested in, and kind of learning a little bit about how to use the Recombinator and how to use Eldritch Currency. I use Necrotic armors as an example, and that's obviously the easiest thing to do because I kind of took you through it step by step. But I would just say, if you actually want to profit on these kind of crafts, don't just do what I told you to do because everyone else is going to do that. That's kind of like the low-hanging fruit. Try to apply it to different armors. You can do this with helmets. You can do this with shields. You can do this with boots. You can do this with gloves, right? If you just take all the things like in this video and apply it to something else, I guarantee you are going to shit out divines. Anyways, that's all I have for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Best of luck to everyone. Good night or good morning.